Yes.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin, and I'm the leader of CreativeGang. I feel a little bit nervous as a last team to do the presentation because I saw other guys do a really good job. And now I will show you what our team did in the last 3 months. Firstly, I will briefly introduce our project. Our project is a website that for developers to show their profile, and it's a forum to connect the developers together to share their idea. And senior developers can help beginners to solve the problems they met. And also, here is our team. Our tutor is Oli and Olivia, and we have 6 developers and 4 DevOps and 1 BA. Kiwi and Chris contributes the most of our work. And this is the tech stack we use. And in the front end, we use React, Redux Chunk, Redux Toolkit. And for the back end, we use Node.js, JWT, Express, and so on. And we use MongoDB as our database. And we use GitHub as the version control. And we use Jira and as a develop tools. And we use AWS as the cloud platform. And here is the user flow. The user can sign in and sign up and post some questions on our website. And the other users can comment and click and can also click like and unlike for the post. And the user can delete the post as well. And the other users can add a comment and delete a comment. And here, here is the MongoDB schema. We created 4 schema. They are user schema, post schema, profile schema, and education schema. And the users can create multiple posts. And the user have a profile. And in the profile page, it also have education to introduce the user. And now Eric will introduce what our DevOps do. Sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Wait, we'll stop squaring. Okay, that is Eric's turn.
All right, I'm Eric. Please let me introduce our team system infrastructure. As you can see from the diagram, we use 3 different cloud platforms, including AWS, Azure, and Atlas MongoDB to build the 3 tier of our web applications. The presentation tier is served by the AWS S3 and CloudFront. We bought the domain from the 1&1 domain, and AWS Route 53 routed the domain name to our front end. We use the S3 for serving static web content and use the CloudFormation for our content delivery network, which can provide low latency and high availability to global clients. What's more, we engage the ACM to provide the encrypted connection for our application. And we also set up the valve in front of our CDN that's help protect our web application by filtering and blocking any malicious traffic coming through. For the application tier, it is implemented by the EC2 instance powered by the ECS. We created 2 private subnets to locate our EC2 instance with 2 different availability zones. And the backend services are running as a Docker containers inside of each EC2 instance. Also, we enable the auto-scaling groups to automatically scale up and scale down the instance depending on the amount of the incoming traffic. The delivery services, to delivery the services with a high availability and the traffic load balancing, we set up the internet-facing application load balancing in front of the ECS. Also, the EC2 instance in the private subnet does not have the directly internet access, such as the connecting to our MongoDB or updating the instance patching. So to solve this issue, we assign the net gateway and bastion host in the public subnet, playing as a bridge between our EC2 instance and the services outside of our VPC. The data layer was implemented using the MongoDB via we use the separate database for UAT and the production and use the net gateway to connect to our backend services. For the monitoring, we use the CloudWatch to store monitoring data and use the AWS managed Grafana and the OpenSearch to display each services metrics and the traffic log flows. All right, that's all our infrastructure. Let me hand over to Cicd Pipeline to David.
Thank you, Eric. Next slide, please. Yeah, I'm David, and I would like to explain how we implement continuous integration and the continuous deployment via Jenkins. The process starts from an emergent happening in the main branch on GitHub. Then the front-end pipeline triggered automatically to download the latest codes, install associated packages, and build artifacts that will be further pushed to our S3 bucket connected to CloudFront. It is worth mentioning that an additional pipeline is constructed for the backup bucket, located in another availability zone. Such setup is aimed to provide a high availability solution to deal with a single point of failure. Next slide, please. Yeah. And the backend pipeline follows a similar procedure where both Jenkins file and the Docker file will be read straight away once triggered. Whereas we introduce Docker containers in Jenkins to build images that will be subsequently stored in Elastic Container Registry. In this case, ECS clusters could just pull images directly from ECR to initiate, update, or auto-scale out service if required, from which each task is assigned with a unique label for an ease of version control. All pipelines are running in Microsoft Azure to optimize cost efficiency due to extra free credits gained. Yeah, that's an introduction to the CI/CD pipelines of CreativeGang. Here now is Alice to talk about monitoring and logging features. Alice?
Thanks, David. I'm Alice, and I will introduce monitoring. For our project, we use AWS Managed Grafana for metrics monitoring and use AWS OpenSearch to monitor the VPC flow log. We establish a connection between AWS CloudWatch and Grafana. By using the 4 golden signals of SRE, our Grafana monitoring is mainly used to monitor our backend server. As shown in the graph, they are the CPU/MEM, ALB requests count, target response time, and error rates of HTTP status codes. Please change to the next page. We also use AWS OpenSearch to monitor the backend VPC flow log. We enable filtering option to check or reject flow logs in our backend VPC and check all access log to our EC2 application server. Sunny will introduce Terraform in details. Please welcome Sunny.
Thank you, Alice. Good evening, everyone. Our team uses Terraform as a tool to build infrastructure. Terraform can apply consistent infrastructure in different environments, reducing deployment costs. We configure file templates to provision resources automatically, reducing deployment and management errors. We created a Terraform module which can be reused in different environments and projects by changing the variables. We also use remote Terraform state file to collaborate with team members. Next, I would like to talk about the advantage of our architecture. First, we install WAF, AF, and ACM in front end and back end, which improve our architecture security in cloud. Second, we also apply system incident management. We build backup S3 bucket and also have a rollback pipeline in the back end. Lastly, next page. Lastly, there are still something we need to improve. First, the Jenkins instance use a single VM. Maybe we need a backup VM. Second, figure out another way to redirect to backup S3 bucket automatically. Third, we better use endpoint of MongoDB to connect to EC2 to prevent data leaks. Thank you for listening. Next, Kiwi will do the app demo for us.
Sharing.
Hi everyone, my name is Don. I'm very happy to demonstrate our project here. So as you can see, this is our project. This is our homepage. Any user can access this post list here without logging into our website. And as you can see, all the components have been responsively designed. When you like pull up walls, the menu button, the menu items will all be put into this slider here, and we have less buttons here when we have a smaller device screen. And so I'm going to talk about the details of the filter component here. And after you click all categories and text buttons, you will see this menu. After you click this buttons, the front end is gonna send the request to the backend, and the backend, after backend getting this request, is gonna sort and list all the posts and return the post list to the front end, so that we have different post lists here. And here, just to go directly to our create post page. Here you can see this is our create post page, and you can choose who can see this post. But since we don't have any contact management system here, so this is only for demonstrating. It doesn't function at all. So I just skip this part, and I'll just go directly to our register page. And as you can see, the username, the email, and passwords are the required fields for this for registration. And like when you have two different passwords, a raw message box is gonna pop out at the top of the page. So what's really happening behind the curve is that the front end is gonna send all the form data to the backend, and the backend is gonna validate all this data and create a relatively the correspondent warning message and put it into one JSON document and send it back to the front end. And we use Redux to create a reducer called alert message box for this content. And once there is any state or wrong message in this reducer, the alert box will render the relative stuff at the top of the page. Like here we have different passwords, and just enter some random detail. And you can see the password do not match, and all this data is from backend. So let's just do it in a correct way so that we can get to our next part. And after we create a user, you can see you will go directly to our dashboard page. As you can see, if you because you don't have any profile, you can see there are two buttons here. You can create a profile, and this is totally the same as the previous page. You can create any profile here, the skills, the company, the status here, and the GitHub username. And after you enter the GitHub username, here we use the GitHub API to fetch all the users repos from the GitHub, so that you would just create a list of repos of the users into their profile page. So let's just quickly finish this. And you can also enter your bios and add your social link. Just do it quickly. And as you can see, if you go to the profiles page, you can see your profile down at the bottom. So it's just like a simple resume page. And as you can see, all your information entered will be created, will be transformed into a piece of resume information. And you can also manage the experience and education credentials in the dashboard. just like how you create the profile here. Let's just create. And after you can also choose your current student or doing that job by clicking ticking this button. If you tick this button, the toollet will be disabled. And as you can see, when you click the profile, you can see this is your experience. And if you add, if you add your GitHub like this one, you can see all your repos is gonna be it's shown here. Yeah, and so basically that's all our project. And we always say as for the if you don't upload your avatar, you can also add your avatar by let me just click by clicking this button here, upload your photo, your avatar. And here I'm going to talk about the details of this this page. And here we only allow the user to upload the JPG, PNG, JPE, GIF photos, and we only take the photos of which the size is less than 10 KB. And basically the best way that to finish this function is that we can at first we can divide this into 5 different steps. At first we upload the photos to the server, and then the server is gonna send a picture to the AWS. And AWS is gonna retain the relative link, the corresponding link to the front end, and then the backend server is going to delete the photos so that we can have more space on the server side. The benefit of doing this is that we can save the space on the server side, because the user is just going to fetch the picture from AWS, so that they don't need to fetch the picture from our server. So the package we use is Malta, which is for receiving and saving the post pictures and avatars pictures. And we also use AWS SDK, which is for connecting our backend to AWS and some other functions. And then the last step is that we creating AWS bucket, and then we get this bucket key because it's a public key, so that the user can access this key and just fetch the picture directly from the AWS rather than our backend server. So basically that is all our presentation. Any question is welcome.